Okay, so moving on, Jack's now going to tell us about the third ship that he built.
The USS Chillicothe. She was absolutely hammered and devastated at the Battle of Charleston Harbour. I do know the date, but I'm not quite sure of it. But she's a fixed turret ship where the guns would actually be drawn back into the turret and swiveled round. They could front fire and port and starboard fire.
Mm-hmm.
2 guns. They're 11-inch Delegans, smoothbore. She was not an ironclad. She was.
It's Dahlgrens, yeah.
Dahlgrens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. She was all iron, no wood, basically, and that was her downfall because the earlier vessels, like the Virginia, they built up the sides with wooden planking, which used to take a lot of the impact of the shot.
And this got shot to pieces,
Yeah,
literally.
she was only 2 inches in thickness.
Ah, okay.
Sloping sides again, but she suffered terribly at the Battle of Charleston Harbour.
So they assaulted Charleston. Was it an amphibious attack?
No, it was Navy. They was fine on Fort Sumter.
So it was just a purely naval attack. It wasn't
attack, yeah.
Okay.
In the bay, yeah.
So there were no infantry forces involved trying to land or whatever. It was just.
Yeah. It was just naval.
The interesting thing I can tell you about Charleston from the American War of Independence period is it's always proved a thorn in the attacker's side, because in 1776 General Clinton was sent to go and take it along with, I think it was Admiral Arbuthnot or someone, and they got repulsed. And Fort Sumter was there in 1776. They had a palmetto log fort, and the logs were absorbing the shot. It wasn't masonry, and the British Navy got repulsed from Charleston, and I think they had another bash a few years later, and they finally took it. But so it's been a thorn. It's a very awkward place to get at from a naval perspective. Yeah. It's got a lot of sandbanks and what have you, and I think it's awkward, and you get a lot of there's the ability to set up crossfire there. Something I've just spotted, which is fantastic, is I love the rust in here, Jack, that you've put on. I love that.
Yeah, none of my models are all bright and shiny.
No, I love it. That's what I'm highlighting for people, is the fact that these are real warships as opposed
maybe
to
4 or 5 months at sea, and the colouring would have gone. There was no gleaming iron or.
It's beautiful. So what's the overall length of this one? Because obviously these are all the same scale.
190 foot in length.
190 feet.
She weighed round about 650 tonnes, I believe, displacement.
Right.
She wasn't one of the biggest ships.
So it's 190 centimetres, which is what, 1.9 metres?
Yeah.
1.9 metres. Yeah. Still big as a model. Incredible. Wonderful. So what's at the back? What's this compartment at the back here, Jack?
This is one of the turrets.
That is a turret, right? That's another fixed turret.
That's a stern turret.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the gun. So what you've got your cutaway here, which is showing the turret, right?
Yeah.
That one's actually showing the turret, and this one at the back is what is the turret as it appeared to the enemy.
Without the cutout, yeah.
Without the cutout. Yeah. So the gun was a retractable gun, I'm assuming.
Retractable gun, and they would swivel it around to port and starboard.
Right.
They can only fire at 3 angles, basically.
Yes, so you can retract the gun, and then you can put it in a different position inside, but it doesn't rotate.
No.
So it wasn't hugely successful, this type of vessel?
Not particularly, no.
Right.
I would say that the ship actually had to be turned, put to starboard, maybe to get a bit of rain, but basically this is in the early days of fixed warships.
Yeah, okay. So there we are. That's which ship is that again, Jack, please?
This is the USS Keokuk.
Okay.
This is the CSS Albemarle. She was a flat-bottomed gunboat with a very, very low draft. They could actually sail these ships in maybe less than 6 foot of water.
Right.
Flat bottom.
Right.
Most of the ironclads. She was basically designed for river conflict.
Right.
Not coastal.
Which, going back to what you said, the sort of genesis of the Confederate ironclad flotilla or fleet was that it was about river warfare. They started
basically,
with river warfare. Yeah. I mean, they weren't daft, although obviously the Union got the upper hand with them on the rivers. It was clear to everybody that the rivers were strategically the most
blockaded,
important,
yeah,
but the most important aspect of the geography of the place. So
most of the large cities down in the south were basically based where there's a large river for trade and movement. So to blockade the rivers and to maybe destroy the forts.
And what happened to this ship? Do you know?
She was actually sunk by this little vessel over here.
Okay, let's go over and have a look at this little vessel over here. Just a minute. We'll have a last look along the Albemarle, if that's the way she's pronounced. Okay, there we go. And obviously what you've got to remember is that cutaway section there, it would normally have looked like that externally. It would have looked like that classic photograph shot of an ironclad, looking at that there, because you don't see, you only see that bit above the waterline.
We can actually turn this one around if you like to see the other side.
That would be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, we've just done a quick change there. This is the wonders of modern science. So we've turned the vessel round, and it was just like turning an oil tank around. But now you can see, which we've not been able to do with some of the other large vessels, is what she actually looked like as a fully armoured ship without the cutaways. So you can see from stem to stern there. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to try after an action to try and get in the lifeboat to save you. So imagine getting it with only was a couple of round shots through it and you got ruined. Anyway, that's smashing. So we've got a lovely, lovely shot. There's the bows of her from the starboard side, and looking back down the ship. That's a nice shot down the ship there, I can see. Yeah, cracking. Okay, that's smashing, Jack. So now, Jack, you told us that the last ship we looked at there, the Albemarle, was sunk by this ship.
This is a 30-foot launch. It was a Lieutenant William Cushins, I think Cushins. Bravely, him and a crew of about 9 men actually attacked the Albemarle late at night. The Albemarle was being on guard, guarding one of the rivers. And they protected it with floating booms, old wooden logs, but apparently they were so oiled up and muddied up that the launch actually attacked the ship from about 50 foot away, went over the booms and pushed out the boom, which is a 20-foot boom, and sunk the ship with what we call...
I guess that was what it was, yeah.
A torpedo.
Yeah.
The Americans called them torpedoes. They in fact, basically, it was just like a bomb. Had a firing pin in the end, stuffed with about 50 pounds of black powder. I tell you what,
how long is that? If the ship's 30 feet, what's that, 20 feet?
This is 30 foot.
No, the ship is, or the vessel is.
Yeah.
That boom,
20 foot.
That's 20 feet.
About 20 feet.
You've got to have some bottle to hold it, and as well, it's just got to be a couple of blokes holding onto that, because there must be some weight in it. I mean, the pole itself has got to have some weight, and then you're bobbing about on the sea. And then you got the explosive charge. How was it? A contact mechanism?
Contact, yeah.
Right.
A friction on the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that takes some gumption.
And she sunk the ship.
I know.
She sunk the Albemarle.
And what did they hit her below the waterline to do that?
Just below the waterline.
So blew a hole and down she went.
On the, I think, the stern of the ship. Basically on the starboard side, I think.
Right.
And she went down in about 6 foot of water.
So she just sat on the bottom?
Sat on the bottom, yeah. And about 3 months later...
And what did she draw? What was her draft?
About 6 foot.
About 6 foot. So what you actually saw was...
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So she must have just about been clearing the bottom anyway.
Oh, absolutely, by about 2 foot.
Good God. And what was this small vessel called? Do we know?
There's no name for it. It was just a simple...
It was just
30-foot launch.
Captain McGiggins or whatever his name was.
Lieutenant William Cushins. Cushins?
Tell you what.
C-H-U-S.
What's the gun on the bow there, Jack?
That's a little 12-pound howitzer.
Right. And what would this vessel, this type of vessel, what would this have been used for then?
Well, basically a fishing vessel, or maybe any small.
And this is
vessel.
Not an ironclad. You've included this in the collection because it's the one that sunk that.
It's not even naval.
No, but what I'm saying, it's the one that sunk that.
Yeah,
That's what you've included it for.
Oh,
I see now. I've got it. Okay. Terrific. That's a wonderful little story. I love it. And I love it. Bloody torpedoes, sod that. Looks like a giant swan vesta, doesn't it? Imagine having to be hanging on to that. I'd say, do you know what, Jack? I'd say you can bugger that for a game of sailors.
They were so tenacious, all of them.
Wow.
Really
What about that? Okay.
Right. This little vessel here is the most, how would I say it? Symbolic vessel throughout the American Civil War, in my view. This is the first submarine on Earth to actually sink an enemy vessel with a torpedo.
And there's the blooming torpedo.
We would call it a ram, but basically the term was torpedo. And it had the same sort of principle of modern day torpedoes. The idea was to ram enemy vessel, blow an hole in it and sink it. She was designed by Horace Lawson Hunley.
Mm-hmm.
3 attempts to sail her cost the lives of about 12 men, I believe. And actually Hunley himself, he actually went down with the vessel once. But after that, I got the dates here, in 1863, that's when she was built.
Mm-hmm.
But on August 1863, doing a test run, Hunley sunk, killing 5 of her crew. But then she went on to actually sink the USS Housatonic.
The Housatonic.
Housatonic. Yeah, Housatonic.
Okay.
Which was a large vessel.
Yes. Yes, of course, that's what she's famous for.
Yeah.
So there's, if we can get in close there, you can see the interior of her. Tiny little vessel, really, Jack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What was her length?
Her length, I've got it down here, 39 foot.
39
the
feet,
beam was
my
actually
God.
less than 4 foot.
Yeah.
So 7 men actually crammed into this vessel.
7 men.
And
they're the observation cupolas on the top there. Yeah.
That would have been the captain of the ship.
Right, we've got a cable at the top. What is the right? The 2 hawsers or cables, whatever you want to call them. You've got a taut one at the top.
That's a support one.
That's supporting. In other words, so it don't go and break off. And the bottom one.
That is the trigger.
I wondered.
The idea is she struck the ship.
So someone sitting on board's got hold of that and goes, wallop, get hold of that. So that's the lanyard.
That's right.
That's the lanyard,
so
okay.
Actually fire off the charge.
Yeah, which is the same principle as German mortars in World War One, where they actually had a lanyard on it, Bosch, electrical thing, bang, and away it goes. Now, what's the size of that bomb on the front there, the actual warhead?
Again, there'd be about 50 pounds of black powder.
Right.
With a fuse device in it, a striker.
Yeah. And what's the bayonet?
Well, the idea of the bayonet is to actually ram the ship, the wooden sides of the ship,
right,
to impale it, so it wouldn't fall off, which it did. It actually stuck into the wooden planking. Then they would pull the yang line, and off went the explosion. And
the spar, the wooden spar, was still in place, or did they withdraw that?
Oh, no. Still
so it blew up on the end of the wooden spar.
That's a fixture. Yeah.
And would they dump the spar?
Well, probably the spar would be blown off anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so presumably they sort of like eject that or something at some point, and then so it's a bit like a single shot weapon.
That's right. Yeah.
You go and you do your damage, and then you go back, get a new one fitted on the front. Yeah. And what was the fate, if there was a fate, for the Hunley?
Well, she wasn't actually sunk on the impact explosion. They don't think. I think she turned, going back to shore. There's 4 or 5 theories. I think the new theory is that they might have run out of air because they were submerged.
Oh, right.
And I think they were being shot on. But basically...
Only shot on?
Yeah. By musket fire. Because it was late at night. All they could really see was just a trail of bubbles. Maybe.
The wake.
The wake of the water, yeah.
Wow. And so, what were we saying? It was unknown fate. It sank.
Unknown fate, Kevin. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And did they? Has it ever been found? The wreck of the Hunley?
I think they found it around about 1990, with the men still on board.
As late as that.
Yeah. And
were there no earlier attempts to find her?
No. There may have been, but with new technology.
And where did this incident occur, Jack?
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't got the information written down.
All right, don't worry. Yeah. We'll find that, and then there'll be a caption that will appear on the finished video. Jack will let us all know where the Housatonic was sunk by the Hundley.
But the story is that I think there were 2 or 3 Europeans on board, and I think some years ago they used the DNA and they actually detected a lady up in Scotland, and I think they made a link that it could have been her great uncle.
Goodness. That's interesting. Who was actually a crew member who died was on board the Hundley when she disappeared. And she just disappeared. I mean, they didn't have radios or anything in those days, like obviously, that, no. So they couldn't. No. I mean, on the surface, you can signal, or you can maybe send some skiff or whatever ashore to inform people. But
when again, submerged, no, that's it.
We were talking about this again. It's come up on a number of times now. We're talking. They're very brave. They're very brave, aren't they, to do this?
So tenacious.
A tenacity, as you say. I agree with you 100%.
It was almost suicidal.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that.
Blimey, and they talk about the kamikazes.
Oh, yeah.
Jack, what are the 2 sort of tentacle objects on the deck that you've and does that float up or is it put up?
Kevin, not quite sure on that again, because the information's a little bit.
The actual is sketchy on it. Yeah. But at least you know what it is, and you've modelled it. So it could be that it, like a ball in a snorkel.
Yeah.
Goes up when you go in and and it shuts the valve off. That could actually, this here could go up with submerging, could go up.
Yeah.
And did it operate just below the surface?
Probably around about 4 or 5 foot below the surface.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not that deep. And then, but when it went for an attack, presumably, it would have to submerge to a degree to get in on the wooden bit of the hull, on the vulnerable bit.
Probably submerged round about the little porthole here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So not totally submerged.
She could be.
Right.
I'm not quite sure on the attack. I should imagine.
And here's another thing. It's obviously driven by a steam engine.
No.
Not what's it driven by?
Hand cranked.
Oh, you're joking.
No. You see the little cranks in there?
I was going to say, because I can't see any exhaust or any signs or this. My God. And I suppose they couldn't have, because of carbon monoxide, they couldn't really have anything other than that. Hand cranked.
I think they may have had one oil lamp inside.
So they're actually turning.
And the speed was round about 4 knots.
As fast as that?
They got up to a fair speed.
Good God.
There were 2 officers and 6 men.
My
1 spar torpedo.
God help us. That's amazing. I am astounded. I mean, I'm an idiot, because it should have been bloody obvious that it wouldn't have had mechanical power driving it, coal driven or otherwise, or even oil, whatever, I don't know. But hand cranked, good God almighty. So you don't need to go to a gym, you just need to get on a Confederate submarine.
That's it. Yeah, the Hundley.
They must have had biceps like bloody Hercules.
Oh, mate. So, yeah.
Driving the ship and then...
Only if you survived it.
Good God. Okay, Jack, that's wonderful.
Okay. And this is what she would have looked like with no cutaway, as you can see. Roll plates, riveted. She must have leaked, because most of the iron plates would have leaked at the time. No way of pumping it out. There may have been a small pump on board.
More joy and delight,
I'm not quite sure on that.
God, it must have been cold on board. Horrible. Dark.
And it was a suicide mission.
Oh, mate, it must have been, mustn't it, really? When you look at it, good God almighty.
And these are the flaps, so she could surface.
They're the planes, yeah. Wow, that is... What's that pipe running along the side there, Jack? What's that? Just to holding that gear on at the back, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, steady on.
Okay. Yeah, that's just to support part of the propeller drum. Yeah, so she
got it.
More momentum, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Smashing. Okay.
Right, these are the CSS David. They were called Davids with an S on the end. Basically, they were very, very successful. They're semi-submersible. The water line was...
when you say David's plural, there's more than one of them.
Oh,
it's
they
a class.
made several.
It's a class.
It's a class.
Did they have different names, or were they just known as
basically Davids?
A David.
Yeah, a David.
They've been attacked by a David. God,
launched in
blimey,
1863.
Hey, Captain, we've been blown up by a David. Doing them goddamn Davids.
He's got us again.
David and Goliath. I think that's where it comes from, by the way. Carry on. Sorry about that.
60 foot in length, beam 6 foot, draft. Quite deep.
She's only
draft.
6 foot in beam.
Yeah. Cramped, very cramped.
Oh my God.
But she was steam
It's like
powered.
a bloody ironclad canoe.
Yeah, steam powered. 4 officers and 1 officer, 4 men, and 1 spar torpedo. Again, she was a ram, and they were very, very successful. I'm not quite sure just how many ships they actually destroyed. I think one of these attacked USS Ironside.
I'll tell you what, I can see some damage that she's already done to the building here. That was a test run.
Yeah.
So effectively, this is
steam powered.
You got the cutaway here, but how did she sit in the water?
Up to about this level here.
Right.
She had quite a deep draft.
Oh my goodness! So she's semi-submerged.
Semi-submerged. All you basically would see with that. The idea was to
and
keep her low.
that's the cockpit up there.
Cockpit and steering mechanism, and that basically you see in there.
Yep. Look at that.
And the engineer, two or 3 engineers.
Yeah.
This is the boiler.
That's yeah. And what's that one with the brass? What's it behind it there? The this one here. What's that? So part of the
engine.
Part of the steam. Steam, part of the boiler. That obviously is a huge cog at the back there, which is a part of the driving mechanism, and you can see the reciprocal. Oh, it's there it is. Yeah, you can see in the green. Yeah, in the piston there. Yeah, got it. I love the rivets.
They were
again.
very
the
successful.
Rivets and the woodwork on it, Jack. It's magnificent. Can't believe it's not real woodwork, Jack. I really can't. Anyway, so go on. Any more info for us?
Well, I've got some info here. On the night of October the 5th, 1863, David attacked the ironclad steamer USS Ironside. Although New Ironside was damaged, it did not sink. There were 3 casualties on board. That's on USS Ironside.
On the New Ironside.
And David survived the attack. Several more of these spar torpedo attacks would occur throughout the war by these Davids. And they kept them right up to the end of the war. And some got to about 80 foot in length.
I bet that became a term of abuse.
Oh, absolutely.
You right, David. You get out of it, you David.
Basically just timber.
Terrific.
With iron cladding around the top.
I tell you what,
protection.
It's striking me, if we can excuse my pun there with the spar torpedo striking, but it's striking me that the innovation was coming from the Confederate side.
Absolutely. And what they had to work with.
But the ingenuity, keep coming up with stuff, and of course, again, necessity being the mother or whatever of invention, is they see that a system, a delivery system like this works, so they refine it slightly, and this looks like half decent. The actual, just the design, the shape, and it's slender, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's snaking its way. It hasn't got a lot of hydrodynamic drag on it, I wouldn't imagine.
They were quite quick as well.
It's ballistic. Look at the shape of it. Yeah. And of course, what's clever about it is it's low in the water. Okay, you've got the bloody smokestack sticking up. But I'm assuming these attacks took place in the evening.
Evening time?
Night off. You said the night off. Yeah. So... And they must have had the willies up the Federals, because
absolutely, and these were cheap to make.
Those damn rebels coming in here, blowing us up with their blasted Davids.
Basically, just a wooden tube.
It is. I love it. Yeah. And again, that is through
innovation.
It's the development of a previous idea and going, well, that worked, but this went wrong or that went wrong. How can we
rectify
modify that to make it even better? And of course, this must have been successful because there were a series of them. Do we know how many Davids there were?
Probably around about 15 to 20. I believe.
Get out, really?
And some got even bigger than this.
It was nearly a navy in its own right, the David Navy.
Yeah, really, but all river.
But I think that is definitely an ironic reference, David and Goliath.
Oh yeah, that's the term. Basically, that's what we think of. It's David attacking the giant.
Yeah,
and
it is David and Goliath, and he's hitting him right between the eyeballs with that.
I do believe that's where the term comes from.
What was the weight of the explosive charge in that?
Around about £50 again.
£50 of black powder.
Black powder.
Yeah.
Again, on an impact button at the end. Impact only. I don't think they had a Ironclad.
No. This would be an impact detonator.
Yeah.
Which would then run down inside. Boom.
And they could quickly get away. They were a quick getaway.
So it could withdraw, reverse. I'm saying reverse, pivot round, and then away they go.
Yeah, off they go.
Yeah, wow.
I do believe
just one big screw on the back there.
Yeah, not many of these were sunk for that reason, because they were quick.
They could get a real stealth weapon of its day.
Absolutely, yeah.
A real stealth weapon. That's magnificent, Jack.
Probably more so than the Hanley.
So it's a bloody educational exercise for me. I'm enjoying this. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm sure people watching this are going to enjoy this as well, because there are going to be some specialists out there, and there can't be a huge number who will say, "Yeah, wonderful, great to see it." We know that, but there's the vast majority of people looking at this, they're going to go, wow, I did not know that. So it wasn't all one-way traffic, Jack, because the Federals were living in fear of these stealth attacks of getting blown out the water or whatever.
Innovation. Yeah.
Getting blown.
Navy really kept them on their toes.
They bloody did, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
So almost like a floating guerrilla war.
Oh, you could say that, yeah.
Terrific, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the David.
The CSS David.
Yeah, or Davids. I mean, this would be, the original one was the David, and then that class of ships were all called Davids. It's a shame there's no record of them, of there being like a number, like, like torpedo boat, like V51 or whatever, but there's none of that. It is just they were Davids.
I think so, yeah. I might be wrong on that, but
they haven't even got a little special badge that was issued. I served on Davids.
No flag. The idea of the flag would indicate that they're on the move. So the idea was to keep them as low profile.
Yeah.
Deep water line.
Really terrific. Yeah, and of course here we can see, as with all the other models that Jack's constructed, we've got this is what I love about these models that Jack's made, is the fact that you've got one side port or starboard, it's irrelevant. It depends on what mood he's in, whether he's thinking on the left or thinking on the right. But he'll expose one side, if you'll excuse the language. He'll expose one side of the ship,
side.
Yeah, and have the other side enclosed, as per a standard type model display. But I love the fact that what we see, we can see all the internal workings with boilers and pipes and God knows what else. So that's the David. Well, there's a submarine under the water.
There's a true submarine, fully submersible.
Okay, come on, Jack. You're going to tell us all. There's the surface of the Mississippi, and there she is under with a man in a diving suit. Tell us what this one is, Jack.
This is the USS Alligator, appropriately called because they actually painted her green with a long snout, and they said, well, she looks like an alligator. So basically she got the phrase alligator, and she was a submarine. She was launched in 1862. She had a displacement of nearly 200 tons. She was just under 50 foot long, and a really small beam, considering the amount of men on board. The beam was no more than about 5'6", maybe 6 foot.
Good God.
But basically, the design was to actually break up the blockages, to take out the mines that the Confederates have laid in.
So this
Charleston
is a Union
Harbour.
vessel, is it?
This is a Union vessel.
Right.
Yeah. But her fate was that she was constructed. Originally, she had actual paddles along the side here, and each man would actually paddle, but they only got up to about 2 knots. Then they decided that was useless. They took her back into the shipyard again, and they done a crank very similar to the Confederate Hanley, and she got up to about 4 or 5 knots. But basically, she was being towed to Charleston Harbour, and the theory is that they actually had a diver on board, and he'd come out of the ship, He would have been supplied with oxygen. There was an oxygen pump inside to cut the chains of the mines, so the Federal Navy
that's
can
what
get
I was
in.
going to ask that question. So that is a anchored mine.
Anchored mine, yeah, just
Right.
over the back, yeah.
And it's just, well, not just below the surface, but it's enough to hit the bottom of a ship.
Of a hull, yeah. Of a hull
And
of
it's
a ship.
submerged, it
Probably
can't
about
be
10
seen.
to 12 foot
That's
down.
meant to be the surface of the Mississippi or whatever it is.
Yeah, Charleston Harbour.
Ah, that's Charleston Harbour, okay. I should have known now. Oh, I knew it well. Yes, Charleston Harbour, Charleston.
She had a crew of about
Charleston.
10 men, so the cramped conditions must have been mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Plus the diver, how they ever got him in his kit.
You don't want to serve up a plate of beans in there before
absolutely not, mate.
diving down there, mate. It would have been unbearable. Captain, get to the surface, for God's sake. Get that blow tube out.
There she was. She was being towed to Port Royal, South Carolina, to clear mines from Charleston Harbour. Encountering bad weather, she was cut free and sunk, so she saw absolutely no action at all.
All right. Now,
No men on board. She was being towed by a...
when you say she was being taken back to a harbour in South Carolina,
No, she was being...
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I misunderstood. What did you say? She was being towed back?
She was being towed to Charleston Harbour by a steamship. Then she would have submerged and gone into the harbour to cut the mines.
So you mean the Union towed her
The Union ship towed
off,
her. Not quite sure
off
the
the
name of
coast
ship.
of Charleston,
Yeah,
and then she was unleashed to go in,
that's right, yeah.
but it didn't happen.
No, it didn't. She sunk. Well, she sunk in bad weather. There was a storm. She was being surface towed, I believe.
Yeah.
Then, what with the rough seas, I think she capsized and she went down and sunk.
Oh my
And as far as
God.
we know, she's still on the bottom now. I haven't.
So no one's done an exploration
No.
for her.
I don't think so.
Well,
no.
perhaps this video might spark someone off.
Oh yeah, yeah. To tell the
Yeah.
Americans that.
Get the alligator up to the surface. And there's obviously the crew members are on board.
No crew members.
Oh, it was empty.
Empty. Yeah.
Ah. What about this little Herbert standing on the bottom here? What happened to him?
Oh no, he wasn't on board. No.
So
he would have
this-
been on board.
This vignette that this little diorama that you've set up here is the ideal of what would have happened had
What
she
would have
gone into action,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she never did.
This was her purpose.
That was, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you've set this diorama up for.
Yeah.
I
She would have stayed
understand.
underneath the surface, about 10 foot down, and he would have
Okay.
left the vessel.
So
Bearing in mind that I might say the Charleston Harbour is probably a bit brown and muddy, so
Yeah.
he would have had a hell of a job, basically. to find
how
out.
would he have disabled that mine? What would he have done?
Probably cut it with an axle, basically.
Get out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I tell you what, you think, like, people go, oh, we had a terrible job there, like, but these blokes are risking
don't,
life
they
and
don't.
limb, and they've got
Oh,
a very,
yeah, yeah.
like, if they're not propelling the ship or vessel by hand, they're out there using a hacksaw in murky waters, trying to get rid of a mine,
Or
which
maybe a
could go
spanner,
off.
but-
It could go off.
Oh, yeah.
Are they contact mines? They're contact mines.
Contact mines, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's the alligator.
That's the alligator.
Okie dokie.
That's the only, as far as I know, the only submarine the American Navy produced during the Civil War.
You mean
the
the
Federals.
Federal
Federals,
Navy,
yeah, yeah.
because the pioneers and the innovators on the submarine side, or the semi-submarine side with the Davids, were the Confederates, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay.